Hello everybody, Brad here. I just wanted to put in a video about how to do the oil change on my Mastercraft with the MCX 350 engine. We'll go through all the steps and I'll show you real quick how to do it. It's not much different than changing the oil in the car, just a few little things a little bit different. Okay, first thing to do is go ahead and run your boat up to temperature. You know, a lot of times what I do is when I come off the lake for one of the last times, while the engine's still hot, I'll go ahead and start, but you know, you can do your fake a lake or whatever you do to get the engine up to temp. Okay, there's really two ways to drain your oil out. The first one I'm going to show you, which is typically what I use, is most boats will have a drain hose. You know, here on the Mastercraft it's hooked right here, and this is connected directly to your oil pan, just where your plug would normally be on a car. And so you just take this out of the hook, you run it through under the motor as straight a line as possible, and you go out your drain hole where your plug goes. Okay, once you've fed your hose that comes from your oil pan out through your plug hole, you know, it's got a cap on here. Just take that cap with a wrench, unscrew it. I've already got it pre-loosened. Just pull it off, hold it over your drain pan, and let it drain out. And I just let this, when I do this, I just let it sit overnight because it takes a good while. I mean, it'll probably take at least 2 hours. Okay, the second method involves pulling the oil out with suction through your dipstick. So where your dipstick's at, you know, just go ahead and pull that out. We've got two different things. We have an electric pump, which I have here. This one just connects to the battery, and I just have bought this one. It took about 5 minutes to pull the oil out, and I did pretty well. The previous thing that I used was the suction pump. I don't have the suction pump on this one because this thing actually got so slow I just quit using it and I threw the pump away. But I've had this one like 8 or 9 years, and of course it comes with a suction pump and a hose that connects here. And this worked fairly well when I first had it new. It would take about 30 minutes even when it was new with the oil hot, and it just seemed to get continuously slower. It kind of loses suction where your pump goes to, and like the last year I used it, it was like over an hour to drain the oil, so I just gave up on it and bought the electric pump. But they do work. Okay, like I said, with either the suction pump or the electric pump, you know, you're going to have this small end hose, and this is what you stick down through your dipstick. And just be very careful and cautious and slow as you insert that in there. I do it just like every little couple inches. I'll check and be sure it's not getting caught in anything. I know there's a lot of guys that don't do this. They're just always scared they're going to get the hose stuck in there and can't get it out. So that's why I'm so cautious. I just put it in there a little at a time. So you know, you want to be real careful and check that you don't ever feel any kind of a catch as you feed that in. And once you get it down to the bottom, you can feel the bottom of your oil pan. You know, maybe just pull it up just 1/4 of an inch or so, and then you can go ahead and start sucking the oil out. And it's always good, you know, before you start draining the oil out or suctioning it out, if you go ahead and loosen up and remove your oil filler cap, that'll just let a little air go in there and it'll go a little faster. On my boat, the oil filter is over here on the driver's side of the boat, and I use this type of pliers for mine. I've also used the ones that you can have on a ratchet that kind of fits the bottom of the oil filter, and those work pretty good too if you can find a good one. Okay, it's a little dark in here, guys, but here you can see my oil filter is right here. I use the long filter for mine, and of course, you know, just get those pliers on there, and don't normally do like I do. Every year I over tighten it more than I should, and it's a pain to get loose. I've got this one loose. You can see I've already dented it to get it off, but we'll take this off and then I'll show you how to put the new one on. After you get the filter loosened with the pliers, you can take cut off like a bottom of a 2 liter. I've just got an old country crock butter thing. You can put this over the oil filter, and that'll try to catch that oil because once you get it loose, it'll start dripping down. And I usually go ahead and stick a rag down here in the bottom of a bilge also, just to be extra safe. Okay, we'll start spinning this thing off. All right, we're gonna keep spinning here. Almost got her. There we go, dropped her down. I didn't spill too much oil. Okay, once you get your filter, since this goes in vertical, I like to go ahead and fill mine up. I just go ahead and put just as much oil as I can get in there. Maybe not quite to the top, so I don't spill any. But it'll hold, probably this long filter holds about 1/2 quart. It'll go down a little bit. That's probably pretty good. Then I'll just take your finger, get a little oil, go around your seal here, And always double check that your seal didn't stick from your old oil filter up into the bottom of your engine, so make sure that that seal came out with your old filter. Okay, now I got this thing ready. I'll just go ahead and I just hand tighten it, and I usually hand tighten it about as tight as I can with by my hand, and that's usually good to not over tighten it. It's easy to do if you try to use a wrench. Just go ahead and fill it up with oil. My particular engine takes about 5.5 quarts. So since I filled up the oil filter, it took actually almost 3/4 of a quart. I'll go ahead and put in, so I've got, including the oil filter, a total of about 4.5 quarts. I'll check my dipstick, and then I'll go ahead and top it off to the top of the dipstick, which might be around 5 quarts. And then once I run it, you know, I'll top it off and probably put the last 1/2 quart or so in. Okay, I actually got it about 5 quarts. We'll go ahead and check the dipstick. I checked it once before I put the last 1/2 quart in there when I was at 4.5. So there, I'm just a hair above full, but like I say, I haven't ran it, so that'll go down a little bit, and I'll probably have to add just a little bit more oil. Okay, that wraps up the video on how to change the oil in the inboard boat. Appreciate you guys watching. Please give me a like and subscribe.